Subtropical weather is on the way. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. It's unusual. We've got this cold change sweeping up the country right now, but the subtropics are actually the main feature of our weather basically for the rest of the month. We will have a few sort of different wind flows in between, but overall, that's the most dominant one. Let me show you the wind map today. You can see this big high out near the Chatham Islands, encouraging this northeasterly and northerly flow over the north. And we've got a band of rain coming in. That's got the cooler change behind it, but it's very slow moving because there is this very weak low pressure system that has developed in between all of this high pressure. So we've got a southerly today. The good news is it's driving in some steady rain around parts of Canterbury. That is very good news. So let's take a look at the forecast. Here we go for Friday. Low pressure, very weak, very weak. I'm not even focused on the low. I am focused on this northeasterly flow coming down over the country. High pressure parked out here over the Chatham Islands. That is the reason it's expanding up into the subtropics and pulling down this wet nor'easter. So between this and the other ones coming up between the next, 10, 12 days, I think that finishes the droughts in the North Island. Doesn't make up for the rainfall deficit over the last year, but on the top of the ground, the soil moisture levels back to normal, and in fact, probably going the other way now, water surplus across parts of New Zealand. Into the weekend, and Saturday sees that low very weak, broken up with long dry spells in between. You've still got that northeast feed though coming in, and that's where we will likely see an area of rain or frequent showers coming into the same spot, and you'll get that on Saturday. There might be some frost around the South Island despite the breeze and a bit of a cloud. Inland areas through the mountains will likely get a bit of a frost. By Sunday, that frost weather is more likely over the South Island, with the high tracking right across you. To the north, very weak low pressure. And again, I'm not really focused on that. I am far more focused on the humid subtropical nor'easter that is feeding down into the island, bringing showers and patchy sort of rain. There'll be long dry spells too, but it's that sort of setup in the same areas getting it again. And into next week, that low, still there, very weak, but it's feeding in this airflow from around Rarotonga, the Cook Islands. Look at the size of the high. It's a big smiley face. It starts near Alice Springs in Perth, goes all the way down past Tasmania, the Auckland Islands, Stewart Island, Chatham Islands, and then all the way up to Rarotonga. So it is a huge belt of high pressure, and it's encouraging this more tropical, well, not tropical is not the right word, but moisture-rich airflow, which is keeping temperatures up. And as you can see, no great changes next week, and a lot more high pressure for the south means the lower part of the South Island is certainly in for more dry weather. Before I go, two quick news stories I'd like you to check out. We've got a big story, the homepage of Weather Watch right now, about this unusual pattern, the subtropical weather feeding into it, and why we think this is pretty much the end of the droughts. And the other story I'd like you to take a look at, just an interesting one I put up yesterday, about what earthquake fault lines in New Zealand have in common with our weather. It's a good educational piece. So just take a look at that. You can see it on our news section of our website and our free news section of our free weather app. That's all from me. We'll see you again on Friday.